Welcome to the Engineering Committee. It's 4:01. We'll start the process, and please stand for the pledge.
Ready to begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. A roll call. We have both directors here. Is there any changes to this agenda?
No changes.
I move to approve it.
I second. Agenda is approved. Is there anybody? There's no public present. Is there any public online? Nope. So that is public comment. Minutes, did you have any adjustment to the minutes?
I did not. Motion.
Yeah. Minutes approved. That brings us to number 4, OSD recharge study. So I'm assuming we have a handout.
Yes, you do. At the last Mojave Water Agency TAC meeting, I had a conversation with Tony Winkle, and I wanted to get an update on the study that was done for the monitoring wells. I just received this today. I asked him if it was okay to share this. There are a couple things that I pulled from the report that I included in this packet out of 173 pages. The first, what we talked about the location. We had a general idea, as it was discussed at other meetings, of where the wells were located at. Included in this packet is an exhibit showing the location in relationship to the aqueduct. The monitoring wells on the next page are identified. They're just along Cayucos Road. There are two wells. I named them well 1, well 2, but in the attachment that you have, they identify them as their own identifications as ORMW1 or RMWP. The ORMW1 is the well number 2, and the WP is well number 1, identified in that exhibit. That's it. And yeah, P and 1. WP, the depth of that well is at 400 feet, and W1's at 660. I guess they call it telescope drill. So the interval starts at 10 inches down to 4 inches. I have the well log as part of the study. That's not included in this packet, but what we do show is the schematic for the well, and that's in the back, the last 2 pages of this handout. One question that we had asked is the depth of water in that location is at 540 feet. I think that study will kind of go through that reasoning for the type of wells that they put in. They're about 33 feet apart, and that's what I got from this. Just a quick overview on the study, as well as the sampling that was done. That is not included in this. So with that being said, that's all we have to report on the 2 monitoring wells. We have eyes on it now. Was out there earlier this week and flew the drone, took some imagery, and logged that in our project file. If you have any questions.
What was the static?
Stack 540.
540. I was looking for that in here.
You're going to find that in part of the attachments in the exhibit that's not included in this.
Oh, okay.
As well as the well log.
Usually the construction description has a depth to water.
And that is not shown in the summary or the introduction.
500 and this is just north of the aqueduct.
Yeah, it's up against the aqueduct.
So you just got this today. You haven't plugged it into the other data, our data, the district data.
No, we just went out there and GPS the location and some aerial photography of that location.
So you're going to plug it in and see how it fits with water levels that we get with other wells. So do you have a reason why they put a shallow? Is that to see if recharge water is coming down?
And that's what I was trying to extract from the study on the reasoning behind it.
To make sure they're not in a perched area, that screen above would represent that to where they aren't in a clay lens, and you'd see those levels start to rise from their recharge.
Yeah, they want to see if the recharge is going all the way down to water level and not riding on a surface.
Correct.
I did peek at the well log, and predominantly it's sand and silt. All the way down. And I didn't find any clay anywhere in that yet. But that was just a quick overview on the two well logs.
Do you have any other questions? So there's movement on it.
There is. They've completed their report and their workout into districts.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else on this? No? Okay, so we'll move to item 5, the water system.
Okay. Discussion regarding the water system. We set 13 new meters in the last month, bringing our year-to-date total to 63 for this calendar. We did do, as a reminder, 95 in 2021. We replaced 9 services this past month, bringing us to 138 for the calendar year, 10 for the fiscal. An update on our wells. Well 11 did fail the pump, as we talked about last month. So we're in the process of, it actually never had a sole plate. The equipment was sat right on top of the casing. That's not going to be the case. The sole plate should be being welded in place on Friday. We're going to pour the new pedestal next week. And then we'll begin the rehab work and installing the new pump and motor. Well 14 still has not had to be utilized for this year. In June, we pumped 0.13 acre foot, bringing us to a year-to-date total of about 2. And that's just done for sampling. Our water meter replacement project, we're still trying to obtain the rest of the materials. We're at 42%, just shy of 3,000 of the 7,200 have been completed. We did receive a small shipment that we got about a third of the meters to close out the project. We actually have a meeting with them tomorrow to see if we can't successfully obtain the rest of the meters to close that project out. We've had to deploy the backup generators a couple times this year. In June, we've had 5 events in June, bringing us to a total of 22. Well 15's 12-inch ductile pipe has been received, 100%. That's stored at a secure location. So as soon as we hit water, we'll bring that back to the board for well 15's pipeline installation. And then our Z meter project, we had 18 of those. Z meters were meters that either couldn't be located or were never installed. That is complete now. Staff went back through. They are there. They have a nice new AMI meter, so everything is where it should be. About 4.2 million gallons has been dispensed from the community fill station just this calendar year. So people seem to really embrace that. It's buzzing right along. So
What's the rate on that?
our current construction rate is $9 and Amy, help me out. It's 9 and change.
So many cents per gallon?
Yes. Well, so if you have an account, it's 1 cent per gallon at the fill station. If you don't have an account, it's 5 cents. Water quality, nothing worth mentioning other than UCMR 5 is coming down the pike. We expect to see that next year. Other repairs, replacements, updates, and maintenance, and update. In light of the events at the last board meeting with the consolidation, we're reprioritizing certain projects that were both part of that and not part of that. And one of those will be what we termed as the mountain well. So the mountain well resides up in Zone G, up in the canyon. Currently, the district fields 2 wells up there, and I feel very strongly that that third be developed. We have test pumped it years ago, and that could be added to our redundancy in the area. Well 2A is showing signs of failing. We know that, just like well 11, because that's tethered to SCADA. So we watch the flows continuously. We have seen water levels drop up there. We have seen flows tailor off a little bit. So we will be bringing that back before the committee and hopefully the board to possibly move forward up there with equipping that. We could design that one a little bit differently to pump directly into the distribution system instead of how it's routed through the booster station now, and just again bolster our redundancy capabilities up in that area. So we still are on schedule for well 15. I apologize, that's number 8. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's all I have for the water system.
So 11 failed, was it the pump?
That is correct. Yeah, the motor started hot spotting, and the RPMs just started dwindling. So it wasn't enough to take out the phase monitors, but the motor failed.
That's a turbine?
That's a submersible. And the pump showed some severe signs of wear. That one had been in there since 2012.
Did you get a? You're just starting it, but are you going to look at whether a turbine, look at the cost effectiveness of a turbine versus a?
We do consider that. That well just doesn't yield enough to really warrant that vertical turbine there.
Yeah, especially if it lasted since 2012.
And we are a long time. We are electing. There is some biomassing down. So we're going to really treat the perforations in the zones we know that don't contain chromium and leave the naturally occurring scale down below, much like we did at 6A and 6B. I am confident we can get about 10% more production. That's it. We'll let sleeping dogs lie down below because chromium is coming. 2025, we expect to have that MCL in effect. So this will be another one. Basically, we use the known profiling.
So you're still thinking it's 10, going to be 10?
It is going to be 10.
It is going to be 10. Yeah, so if we leave the bottom where the high chromium is, the wells should fall under that.
OEHA. So it's Environmental Office of Environmental Health and Hazards Assessment has released their preliminaries at 10. The state's moving forward with adopting a 10 part per billion, which plays right into our hands, which we kind of assume the whole time. We currently have 2 wells. One has been profiled. We'll have to go back and place a packer and unfortunately give up some production capacity there. But those are the only 2 so far. Everything else has been profiled and taken under that 10 part per billion. So we've really taken profiling and ran with it to tremendous success.
And then we'll add 15 to it, which
with any luck, 15
that shouldn't have high chromium.
Fingers crossed, yes.
At least in the upper part.
And the wells in that vicinity, that's why we elected to
They
go
don't.
there. No. Trace, 2, 3 part per billion, nothing really
Just
mentioned.
background, yeah.
That's about all we have for the water system.
Kathy, anything?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
thank you very much.
Move
Move to item 6 is the Smithson Springs.
It's still a spring.
How's
How's the growth up there?
The growth is not as substantial as years past because there's not as much water.
Not as much water.
We've really seen the flow decline up there to about a gallon per minute or just slightly under. It's slow going up there.
Yeah.
Those desanding basins we installed are even declining. They're not maintaining. We'll be bringing in our CAL FIRE crews sometime after Christmas. They are back. They actually opened one of the camps back up, so there's 3. We've been able to get CAL FIRE crews here of late. We've had them out a couple days in the past couple weeks, again, just to utilize for our weeding. So to a limited extent, they're being utilized as much as we can. Unfortunately, we share them with U.S. Department of Forestry.
Everybody else.
Yeah, they're contractually bound with forestry, so we kind of get what's left over. So
I don't know if you want to mention the weather station that's going up there.
Oh yeah. So Mojave Water Agency is going to be installing weather station at the Smithson Springs well site, or I'm sorry, tank sites.
Right up on the hill?
Yes, sir. And they're looking at potentially putting another one at our L1 booster site, so at both sides, the far ends of the district, so they can monitor the weather.
They're gonna monitor the weather?
Yeah,
That's
they're
correct.
particularly trying to collect rain data up against the mountain to see how it's coming into the water table in the basin. It's a really expensive
Endeavor, it is.
endeavor.
A few years ago, we probably go back 7, 8 years ago, they installed a weather station here at the district. It wasn't really a good system. It failed a few times. It hasn't been operating in the last 3 years. The staff that was in charge of that left Mojave, kind of left the system unserviceable. So they revisited this, that they're replacing the system here, same system, put the other 2 locations.
And this gives them data for rain.
Yes, weather.
Get a better handle on the recharge to the basin. That's why they're doing it. So. Good. Okay. Anything else? Thank you for the update. Number 7 is state regulations update.
Just one quick note here. I mean, they're still reviewing the outdoor water allowance per capita per day, but recently SB 1157 passed, which basically is going to reduce that 55 gallons per capita per day, where we were going to go down to 50 gallons per capita by 2025. It's now going to be 47 gallons, and they're shooting for 42 by 2030.
42 gallons per day by
2030.
2030.
Yeah, and the 47 by 2025.
And that's internal use.
That doesn't affect businesses, does it?
It's going to be a component of it, but it's still under review.
42 gallons per day. That's a quick shower, huh?
I was gonna say, I think we need to open a place that things can just wash them.
Do you know that they're going to be amending health code to match?
I didn't hear anything about that. But it might be written into that bill because there's quite a few other things under that bill, including like we're going to be required to test a certain percentage of our meters every year. And so.
Just for accuracy there, but so you're going to basically have to have a replacement meters that you can test and then stick on there and pull the meters off and then test them in the shop. So you'll have to have a set of meters that you use as replacement. 42. Yeah, there's a health issue with if you get too low. Apparently they're.
Some people can be quick though.
Did they provision for animals? So if you have a dog that drinks a gallon a day?
There's going to be a lot of, like we were talking about, the different things that we can get.
Okay,
We have
good.
waivers and variances and stuff.
That would be outside use.
Oh, that's true.
Jen, would you like
You could
to,
just say that's the outside use.
would you like to mention the miles per pipeline?
Yeah, well, that falls more under the outdoor use, as they're still conducting the study as far as the irrigable land and things like that. We were talking about this earlier today, though, because of the amount of miles of pipeline that we have versus how much water we actually use, we actually end up looking pretty good as far as that goes, like as far as the water audit goes and things like that.
Yes, because we have a vast amount of pipeline,
compared
only
to
7,000 meters,
Exactly.
where our others pipeline with that much pipeline would have 100,000
Yes,
meters.
exactly.
Well, they're just wonderful, I'll tell you that. Anything else?
Just that.
Great news.
Great news, yes. Okay, number 8, review of current projects.
Pressure Zone 6 project, this was part of our budgeting and our CIP, and that was the pipeline project on Pinion Hills Road. That's the far southwest corner of our district, over by Smith and Spring Tank. I'll kind of leave this to Sean to kind of finish up on, but with that being budgeted, we're going to be moving forward with this project here real soon.
And then also, as I mentioned, for the new well 15, 100% of that 12-inch ductile sitting in a secure location. We still are on target. We look like we're going to start drilling next month. We've been in talks with Southwest about lining up construction water. So we're moving forward.
And we have the surveyor scheduled to be out there at the end of the month for staking. For the well, as well as property corners.
So is there a hydrant nearby anywhere?
About 2,000 feet away, so we're going to have to high line some rain for rent, about 2,000 feet. They require 200 gallons a minute or more for construction. That's our plan to deliver adequate.
Depends on how permeable the aquifer is, because it can take a lot of water. They can mud it up a little bit, but a couple hundred gallons a minute, yeah.
So we don't know when they're starting to drill.
Sometime in October, right?
We're on target for next month. I don't have an exact date.
Say October has 31 days in it.
When you get them on a month, that's as close as you can get. And then as they approach, if the rig is on a well and they have issues, it can be extended out. But if as the well progresses, then they can get an idea of when they'd be able to actually move it onto the site when it's in their queue, as you might say. Okay, that's anything else on number 8?
Nothing more.
Staff report?
One thing I'd like to give an update on the Wilson Ranch Pipeline Protection Project. Did drive that yesterday after we had all those rains. I'm happy to report no channeling, no cutting, no edging like it used to. That material really locked down and held its own with the slight grade we give it. With that being said, and we're getting into our project season here for this fiscal year, Sonora becomes phase 3. So we're starting, George is having that surveyed, and we'll be bringing that back before the board for final authorization in the coming next couple months. Like to hit that this winter. Done much in the same fashion as Wilson Ranch. This one just happens to be a couple thousand feet less. And keeping in mind, I think we have 7 phases now to the pipeline protection. So as we move away from some, I mean, others do pop up, but we have, I believe, 4 more including this year's sections of pipe that need our attention. So, but the manner in which we're doing it does work. I mean, we got a tremendous amount of rainfall out of these last few storms. That material just locks in really nice and sheets the water instead of channels.
Well, that one right now, I don't know how widespread it was, but in my house, it really came down. So,
Yeah,
if it was like that over there, then water was flowing, so.
and it held up really, really nice. So
Good to hear.
and then just a thank you to the field staff. They've really been throwing it into overdrive the last couple of months. We've had a lot of projects. We're closing them out and starting to get into the next ones for this fiscal. So
Getting ready for the cold, right?
pretty much. Kudos to those guys, though. They've really been hitting on all cylinders. So thank you to them.
Yeah, quickly back to well number 15. Surveyor is scheduled to be out there at the end of the month again.
In
So he's taking
September.
well 15 and the project that he spoke of, I'm sorry, I spoke there, on Sonora. They'll be out there doing the topographic survey. That information will be sent over to staff, and we'll do the in-house design, just similar to what we did to Tumbleweed.
So you have a surveyor coming out, it's gonna survey the property
Survey
and the well
Yes.
and the pipeline.
And not the pipeline. No, we're not doing any staking on the pipeline. He's gonna locate the corners of that property that was cut out from the 20 acre,
Yeah,
as well as the location of the well.
okay.
So that's pretty much where we're at with
And then your Sonora project.
the Sonora, yes. At the end of the month, he'll be out there doing his topographic survey. Then we'll get Earth, and we'll get those numbers over to Earth Council. We'll get those numbers over to Sean and put in an order.
Plot it out,
We
okay.
calculate that with the labor, the trucking, and the material, bring that back before the board for authorization before we move forward for purchasing authority. Much very similar to Wilson Ranch with an estimate of the project.
Yeah, once you get it surveyed, then you can calculate your volumes. Okay, that it? Review of 10, review of action items. Did we have any?
Yes, we had one regarding Tesla batteries. I believe Jen has.
Yeah, the storage batteries. Is there any information on that?
Yeah, I don't know if George wants to talk about it, or I can.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Sean was reminding me about a project. Well, I'm sorry.
I don't know if you want to talk about the Tesla batteries.
The storage batteries for
Yeah,
well site?
Yeah. You know, Jen did a lot of looking into that and a lot of investigation. I handed it off to Jen.
Yeah, so we did look into that, and there is a number of districts in California that have received funding for those. They're extremely expensive, but unfortunately, there's no public grants grants for public utilities. Those were all done through the CPUC. So Palmdale got 3 of them. There's a couple other districts that got that, but it was all funding through the CPUC. So, yeah.
Aren't we a public utilities?
We're not under the Public Utilities Commission.
Oh. CSDs are not under the public utility, no, because they set the rates. So it was only for those entities that set rates by the PUC.
Yeah.
Weren't they like $1 million?
Palmdale got a grant for 1.5, and they got 3 battery configurations.
Yeah, there were a couple, I know they were 300-400, depends on the size for the well.
Yeah, the configuration.
The smaller well will obviously be less, the horsepower on it.
Yeah, we would just have to have someone come and look at our wells.
So those were only for PUC, huh?
Yeah, we were thinking though, if the PSPS grants come back around, that there would be some applicability there. And we can look at using those funds
to fund that type of project. Unless Sean needs more generators.
Yeah, well, those would replace a generator, basically, but it would be at one site. They're not mobile, so.
And just so at 3 sites at 1.5 million at $500,000 a piece for on-site power generation, it's about 2.5 times the cost of what a diesel generator would cost.
Well, but you store the energy as it's being used, and then there's no charge when you run it off of the battery because you've already stored it.
We'll keep an eye out for the possibility.
I don't know, I haven't seen, how long even they run.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the numbers on it, but I thought it was worth looking into anyways.
There is a large tax incentive for, if you do purchase them or whatever, that offsets some of the cost, but.
Is there a vendor we could have do an assessment to see, because Mr. Roberts mentioned it is based off horsepower, just to get an idea of, 100 horsepower takes X battery, 250 horsepower takes 10 of X battery to get a handle on.
Yeah, there's a main vendor that handled these specific projects and would have done those assessments, so we probably could reach out to them and talk to them.
We'll see if we can't get some just ballpark figures. Just curiosity as well on how long that lasts. Does that battery pack last an hour, a day?
Yeah, the reason I knew about it was I was talking to the general manager of, in Riverside at a water company, and they had one installed and screwed up the well because they reversed the polarity and it went backwards, but he's having issues. But anyways, I can get some information from him also to give to you. It's worth looking into.
It is. We explored just a month ago some grants. We went down the rabbit hole of the grants for electric equipment until we figured out that was match funds, not anything except that, and that the cost is 3 to 4 times that of diesel powered.
Yeah, it was.
We thought the price we saw on the screen was the price, that was the down payment. Yeah. It's really, really cost prohibitive right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure the rep will be able to help you.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. Was there any other, I don't think that was any in the prior, that was the only one, I think. Yeah, current meeting. Current meeting today, I don't think we have anything, do we?
No.
No action items for next meeting. Setting agenda number 11 which is October 12th. Maybe we'll have an update on well 15 at that time.
Maybe. We're gonna be at the middle of the month.
Any need to change anything on the agenda as it stands?
Perhaps adding Mountain Well under review of current projects.
Review of current projects. Add
Mountain Well, please.
Mountain Well review. Okay. So with that added to the next agenda, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned at 4:35. Thank you, everybody.